Go.
Hi YouTubers. Well, this is it. This is my monthly maintenance over here on all the kitchen knives that everybody owns. These things range in price from $1 up to maybe $5 or $6. They're normally very soft steel, and they've been abused and used and scraped and beat up. One of the most important things that you should do with them to begin with is to get a nice profile on them, and I've used all my stones over here, which I ended up spending thousands on these things. But anyway, you get a nice profiled edge on even a cheap steel knife like this one. I think it's a Farberware, and it's probably around 10 bucks or 8 bucks or somewhere at a grocery store. But if you get a nice profiled edge on it, then the maintenance is really not that hard. Here's an old one for you. This one goes back at Echo, and it's got to be at least 35 or 40 years old. That's how long I've been married. And this thing wouldn't cut anything, and right now it's in pretty bad shape, as you can tell. Not doing anything to a regular newspaper. And you can tell this Farberware here, which I just touched up for a couple of minutes, cuts right through the paper with no problem whatsoever after it's been profiled. This one's been profiled a couple of times, so the maintenance is very easy. And when I say a couple times, I probably mean around 5. But taking a knife like this and very simply running it on a ceramic rod, what I'm basically doing is taking out the nicks, and I'm kind of straightening the edge. It's almost like what a steel would do, only a little bit more. You get a little bit of abrasion on this ceramic rod, and it takes off all those little dings and nings and scrapes and stuff where they've thrown it in the dishwasher and not paid any attention to the thing whatsoever. I do have high-end knives that never see the dishwasher, that's for sure, but these things right here are just your monthly maintenance. And after running it on the ceramic a few times and taking off all the dings, we should bring it right back to a point where at least it can cut this stuff. Yep, there we go. Now we're cutting newspaper. Now, all depends on what you want for the kitchen. How critical is this? Well, it's not. All right, you're cutting regular tomatoes and potatoes and stuff like this on a daily basis, and celery. So I would take it on a strop because I'm a little bit crazy, and I run it on a diamond strop, which I've made a ton of these. I probably made about 15 straps, and all of a sudden started running into a formula and a base that works for me. I think that's what everybody has to do. You have to go through things that work for you, not for anybody else, because God knows there's a million things on the market. But you got to try them, and a lot of it is trial and error.
What kind of angle?
You know, the angle that you get on these things is as low as you possibly can make it and still sustain an edge. So my angles are pretty low. Normally I got them around 10 degrees, 15 degrees, and I just follow the edge. And after doing this for a couple of years, you actually can feel the edge. You know when you're hitting the edge, okay? And it takes practice, tons and tons and tons of practice. I can't believe how complicated this gets. When people on YouTube tell you that this is an easy process, no way in hell. It's a very complicated process, and it's something that every individual has to learn by practice. And if you don't want to put into practice, or if you don't have the ability to have the patience that it takes to learn this, then don't even bother. Just send your knives out for sharpening to somebody that knows what the heck they're doing. Stay away from people that have grinders. Stay away from people that use belt grinders or sanding discs or anything that's power, because that's when you end up just ruining your blade. You can tell I used a power grinder for years on this one, and it's almost worn the entire blade out, taking it from one end to the other.
Tilt it a little different.
I restored it carefully by doing my own profile with the water stones, and I hope you can see the nice polished edge that I did end up with. Okay. And again, I'm not going for crazy sharp right now. I'm just going for normal sharp. Okay, a kitchen utensil as such. Well, let's see where we got it. Take it to the good old newspaper test. You can tell it's a little bit catchy. Going right through it. That means that she needs more stropping. So more stropping as it is, and it all depends how goofy you want to get with it. I mean, normal straps for me are about 50 times per side at least, just to get it to follow the strap. And sometimes I'll do 150, 200, 300 straps per side until they get to a point where they're crazy sharp. Now, like I say, depending upon the metal, it all depends on how long it's going to last. This metal being a cheap, soft metal, who knows? You know, you might get maybe a month out of it in the kitchen, and then it's back down here for maintenance. And this is just a quick maintenance stop. Sometimes I can't bring them back, and then I have to go into a complete set of water stones and reprofile them and go through all the rigmarole to bring them back to crazy sharp. And then they still only last for about a month. So it depends on the use and the abuse. But normal use, normal abuse, I figure about a month on these cheap knives. I've got some really nice, decent Japanese knives that'll hold an edge for months on end. They just don't go dull. Very easy to keep and maintain an edge on those. But you can't abuse them. You have to pack them away. You have to hand wash them. These things are just your regular ones. The ones that you use to open up the frozen food packages and everything else that ends up in the kitchen. Well, let's see what we got with it this time. There we go. Okay, that's smooth. Yeah, semi-smooth. Good enough for the missus. Good enough for the missus, and that's all I do. So the whole bunch of them got that routine. They're ready to go back into the kitchen, and I'll see them again in about 30 days. Thanks for watching.